everyone, my name is Mandeep. Today I'm going to share this video on our Indian Workers Association Facebook page in regards to new proposed immigration changes and how these changes would affect you and what you can do about these changes, how you can make submission and how you can have your say on these changes. As you might know, since our last Facebook live video on our Indian Workers Association Facebook page, a lot of people have contacted me in regards to those changes. Anup Loti of Migrant Workers Association and myself try to make it very clear on that video, but seems like there's still unclarity around those changes. So what I'll do today is I'll try to break it into different categories so that you can decide which category you fall in and what you can do about those changes, and I'll try to make it very simple for you. Now, before we go into that, I would like to make it very clear that I'm not a licensed immigration advisor, so it is just our interpretation of these new changes. If you require any further information, you can always consult a licensed immigration advisor. In saying that, we actually welcome these new changes. We think the changes are positive. We still believe these changes don't go far enough in terms of addressing the exploitation of migrant workers, but certainly a step in the right direction at the moment. Now I'll break it into different categories and you can decide which category you fall in, and you can decide which steps you can do, you can take to basically have your say in these changes. Before I do that, let's discuss how these changes have come about, and why these changes have come about. Now, from the past few years, you might have seen it in the news as well. A lot of migrant networks like Indian Workers Association, Migrant Workers Association, and other Migrante, Filipino networks, and unions across New Zealand, they've been really concerned that migrant workers are taken for a ride, and they've been basically exploited in all different ways, and whether it's paying cash or whether not being paid holiday pay and other entitlements, and they've been ripped off for tens of thousands of dollars in exchange of a work visa, and there have been abuses and threats of all kinds. So this has been going on for quite some time, and we as different groups, we have constantly been exposing such employers, highlighting this situation, and also talking to government to make these much needed changes. So finally these changes have come about, but doesn't go far enough, but at least certainly a step in the right direction. Now let's get into the changes. So there are two categories. Category A, I'll put category A into those international students who are already here in New Zealand. Category 2 is B category, those who are not in New Zealand but might come to New Zealand on a study visa. Firstly, these new proposed changes are only applied to people coming to New Zealand on a study visa. If implemented, these changes will not affect any essential skill visas or any other kinds of visa. It will only be for those international students who have come to New Zealand or who will be coming to New Zealand, which means category B, those who are not in New Zealand but who might come to New Zealand on a study visa. So proposed new changes are for those ones, not for existing ones. Now let's go to category A, those who are currently in New Zealand, who have come to New Zealand on a study visa. I will further break it into three categories. Category A1, those who are currently studying in New Zealand. Category A2, those who have completed the study and currently on a job search visa, as we call it, post-study open work visa basically. Category A3, this once you completed your study, got a job search visa, and after that you applied for an employer assisted visa of 2 years. So these three different kinds of visas you get after you study. Now these are the things, these are the visas which were promised to many migrants who have come to New Zealand on a study visa, and to be honest, those were the rules, so that's how it was promoted by the education agents as well. um, so if these changes are implemented, it will not affect existing students who are currently in New Zealand, whether they're on a student visa, whether they have gone from student to job search or job search to employer assisted visa. Now, we think these changes are good. These should also apply to existing students in New Zealand. They're good, but they're not as good as we wanted it to be, but at least removing the requirement to attach the visa to an employer is a very positive step, because that's where the exploitation basically happens, and we see it as a bonded or slave labor. Now, what the government is proposing is that, first of all, anyone doing level 7 or below in future who will be coming to New Zealand, if these changes are implemented, they will get 1 year post-study work visa, open visa. And anyone doing level 7 at least 2 years, they will, or level 7 degree or above, they will get 3-year open work visa. And the other change is that if anybody doing level 8 or 9 or above degree level and studying in a long-term short skill area, they will be able to bring their partner on a work visa for the same length of their own visa, and bring the kids and have subsidized basically education, free education. Now, many migrants have contacted us in regards to the open work visa situation, because this is what many relate to. So what we think, because these changes are basically for the government has announced these changes. We think they of the view to promote higher qualification, bring the best talent to New Zealand, and also to get rid of exploitation. So we think it would only be fair if the students who are currently in New Zealand, whether they're on study visa, job search visa, or employer assisted visa, that these changes are that those ones can benefit out of these changes, because they are the one who are currently in those situations. So I'll go through step by step what you can do about these changes. Now, those who are currently in category A1, which means currently studying as an international student, they can go to MBIE website and make a submission. Submissions are open from 5th of June this month till 29th of June. I encourage you to make the submission as soon as possible, and answer the questions. Now, those who are currently studying, they should make a submission welcoming the change, and basically requesting that 1 year job search visa and 2 year employer assisted visa combined to be 3-year open work visa, because they would only be fair on those, because that's what was promised to them by offshore education agents before they came to New Zealand, as we understand. And those who have finished a study and currently on a job search visa, they should make a submission that, to be fair on them, that after they finish the job search, instead of getting 2-year employer assisted visa, which is going to be attached to the employer, they get that 2-year visa as an open work visa. And third category, A3, where you have already completed your study, you've already finished your job search, but currently hold an employer assisted 2-year work visa. You can make a submission, basically requesting that under the new changes, your employer assisted visa to be made open work visa, basically, so that you have the basically ability to apply for an open work visa for the same length, not that you will be requesting additional, but the same length of your employer assisted visa, but as an open visa, so that you have the freedom to move jobs as anybody else in New Zealand, because that would only be fair. Now, this is what the feedback we got from migrants, and this is what we suggest. This is how you do it. And we, as migrant networks like Indian Workers Association and other unions and other migrant networks, will also be making submission. And Indian Workers Association has already made a submission to MBIE, and but each submission will be counted as one, so I suggest each individual makes their own submission. Please also share this video to among all your friends so that they can also make a submission. It's great to see there are a lot of migrants on our Indian Workers Association Facebook page who can benefit from this sort of information, and hopefully you will invite your friends to be on our page as well. Having said that, now in terms of how to make a submission, I will put a link in the comments on our Indian Workers Association Facebook page, where I'm going to post this video, and you can basically click on the link. It's pretty simple. They will ask you questions about each change, whether you support it or not, and if you do, how these changes would affect you, and any other comments and stuff. So you can basically write what you think about it, or whether you, if you agree with what we are suggesting, you can make submission around that, or you can basically take advice and make a submission. However, I do suggest everyone to make a submission, because it's a democratic process, and we should all be part of it. You know, not everyone gets this basically very good right of being democratic and have their say before any changes are implemented. So because we got it in New Zealand, we should all make good use of it. And you can share this video among your friends so they can also make a submission. Now yeah, this is pretty much our view of these changes, and hopefully I have tried to make it a bit more clear than earlier. And if it's still not clear, I suggest that you consult an immigration advisor and seek advice. But other than that, hopefully this would make things easier, and you would make submission as soon as possible. I'll see you again in maybe next segment or next video or anything. Please stay on our page, Indian Workers Association. Love you all. Take care.